Evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Phil and John's VIP. Thank you for joining me once again. I'm Phil John, your host. Welcome, 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 welcome. We are at the end of the month. I'm looking forward to sharing with you all. My guest is Kerry McGann. She is a friend and colleague of mine that's been in the business forever. And I'm looking forward to her joining us. She's been having a little trouble on her end, finding out exactly where to click on. But once she does, I'll be letting you guys know. Miss Cleo Silvers, thank you, Miss Cleo, for joining me tonight. I appreciate you. I appreciate that you joined last talk. It was awesome to have you in the room during that time. Thank you so much. Hopefully you and I can do a talk. That would be great. Me and you, Miss Silvers. Please, let's do that. Let's see. Kerry McGann, where are you? Let's see if I can get this thing to work properly. Let me see what I can do. You know what? Let me try this. It's so weird. Here we go. Kerry. All right, Kerry, just join. Try to get the technical glitches.
Sorry about that.
Finally.
Fine. I was like,
when
is the live button going to happen? And it kept making me follow you back as if I wasn't following you. It was the craziest thing.
Yeah. Well, now that you're here, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for asking me.
For joining me on this live. I appreciate it. And thank you for everyone for coming in.
Yeah.
So, and everyone that's joining us, thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. So I want everyone to know that I've known Kerry now for a very, 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 very long time.
Yeah.
I'm realizing now that most of the people that I've been bringing on, I've known now for over a decade. And I've seen everyone's growth and development, and I've seen how everybody is just kind of growing into their own place in this industry that we were trying to figure out where to go in the early stages.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just honored. I'm honored, and I feel like I am in good company.
As am I. I was really, really flattered when you asked me about doing this, and I'm like, I have no idea what it is, but like, you're a friend and a colleague and a peer and a friend more than anything. And through all the trials and tribulations of both of our journeys and this crazy world of acting, I mean, I get you, and I know you get me. So it's, I couldn't say no at all. It was like a no-brainer. Yeah.
So I gotta ask you this question before we start, because I saw in your trivia that you're the first cousin of Brook Sheilds.
Yes. So her mom and my dad are brother and sister. Her mom, Terry, is my Aunt Terry. Both my dad and her mom have since passed. And Brooke is just lovely and amazing and kind, and everything that you think she is, she absolutely is. There's this amazing innocence to her, and she's got a really great sense of humor. My dad's side of the family has an amazing sense of humor, just inappropriate and funny and clever and smart, and Brooke has that too. So it's funny to see someone who's like America's sweetheart have like this brilliant, cutting humor to her. And she's just super sweet, and she has a documentary out now about her early life and it was pretty raw seeing some of that being told, because I'm seeing it from a different perspective than 99% of the other people, because she focuses a lot on Terry. And I remember being a kid and seeing the Terry I knew and the Terry that everyone else knew. So it was bittersweet, but lovely in a way too.
Yeah. I always say, it kind of just proves my point when I always say you got to be careful what you say and who you talk about in this industry, because you never know who's related to who's connected to who. You know what I mean? So be nice to everybody.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't go around proclaiming I'm Brooke's
Oh,
cousin. My
I know.
career, my name
Yeah.
is different. When I was a teenager, Eileen Ford from Ford Models had told me I should change my last name to Shields. So
Are
I'd
you
be Kerry
serious?
Shields, which is close to Terry Shields, which is
Yeah,
Brook Shields. And I just was like, no, I
of
can't,
course.
I can't do that. And that's not my identity. So all my successes basically are all mine. And
Absolutely.
I'm super proud of that. And I'm super proud of Brooke's work and what she's done. And I'm going to share this with all of you out there too. She goes through the same mental struggles that we do about being in this perpetual state of unemployment.
Yeah.
And to have conversations with her and to hear her fears and her worries, it doesn't matter. Everyone is wanting that next gig. Everyone is fighting for it. Everyone's trying to understand their place in this business and at different times of their lives. And the struggle is real for sure for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know where I learned that from? You know, I've just had to pay tribute to Paul Michaels, the network, on my page a while ago.
Nice. He's
And I
great.
remember, do you remember the big studio that
Yeah.
we have with all the studio spaces?
Yep.
There were so many people who I looked up to that came through the hallways of that place.
Absolutely.
And I remember meeting, um, uh, you know, I'm having a senior moment. I'm having a senior moment
We
because I
can
can't
say
remember
that
the name.
now.
Peter Scolari. Peter Scolari. I remember Peter Scolari, and it was the name will come to me, but I remember thinking, like, is like, is this it? Like, oh, like, what are you doing here? Because I was watching you in my underoos. So why are you going through all of this? And I saw him at an audition at Endeavor, and I realized that this is it. Like, this is what we're doing. Like, every time we go to an audition, every time we sign in the sign-in sheet, like, this is it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Ron Palillo, that's whose name I was looking at. Ron Palillo, who played Horseshack on Welcome Back, Kotter.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
remember Carrie Height. Thank you for joining us, brother.
Carrie. I love him.
I remember him saying that.
Michelle.
I remember him saying that Welcome Back, Kotter was only 5 years of his life. He had this whole career in theater that nobody knew about or cared about, you know. And that's when I realized that, wait a minute, now this thing that we're in, like, this is it. There's no finish line. And I think the biggest misconception that a lot of people have coming in is that there's it to make. You know, everyone wants to make it, and there's an it to make.
What is it?
And there is no it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. There is no it. You know, it's like you just keep going and you keep going and you keep going. So when you look at people who have been on television for a very, very long time, and you remember them as child stars or teenage stars or stars who were young adults at the time, you don't think that they have to go through what we go through, because we, in our minds, we're still trying to make it. But this is it. And I've learned that it's best to just enjoy the journey.
Absolutely. You couldn't have said it better. The journey is what it's all about. Because in essence, like, your goal, say you have a goal to buy a house. You buy the house, you have the house.
Mm-hmm.
Say your goal is to book a TV show. You always want, there's more after that. There's more after that. So it never ends. It has to continuously be a journey. And as you said about those amazing actors at the network, I was a reader regularly at one of the networks. I don't want to say too much. I don't know. But I've seen some of those legends in all of those shows that we all grew up on coming in and audition and screen testing. And it's like, I'm reading with you. Like, this is the joy of my life in this moment. At the same time, like, God, like, I was trying to be like, I got you. Like, I got you.
Right.
Where it's like communal, it's community. And everyone has to support each other and realize going up, you're going to see the same people coming down. And
you better believe it.
It's fascinating that I've seen those people just like you, and you wonder, wow, they're going through that same struggle, same thing.
Like I said, this is it. It's all about, it's about enjoying the journey, those high moments, you know, and encouraging each other through the downtime.
Yeah.
So
So
let
I
me
guess
ask
the
you a
journey
question.
is it.
I gotta ask you this question because I really
Yes.
want to know about it. Where did it all start for you? Where did it begin for you?
Whew.
Kerry, do me a favor before we go. Can you
Yeah,
tilt your camera
I do.
down a little
Yeah.
bit?
I'll go up a bit.
That's it. That's
That works. Okay.
perfect. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thanks. So I'll be honest. I was around Brooke shooting some films when she was younger. I'm a bit younger than her. So there were certain films that I would be on set for because they shot them. I grew up in Jersey. They shot them in Patterson and in some other locales that were sort of local. So my Aunt Terry would bring me and I would play pinball or watch on the sideline. And I kind of fell in love with seeing all that stuff, not knowing I would do that one day. And I didn't ask to go do that through her. There was just sort of this natural progression. I had done some print work and like back to school clothing stuff was always popular. As a redhead, you're always like picked for print, at least then, not so much anymore. So any print people out there, I'm cheap labor at the moment. I did all kinds of plays, funny stuff we would do as kids. We would like reenact different musical movies in the garage driveway for my pop-up. And then when I became kind of an adult, before I was really 20, I started doing community theater and I was doing a lot of classics. And I learned a lot from this one man, Alex Reed. He's since passed on a long time ago, but he worked with Henry Fonda on the stage.
Wow.
So he was elderly then, and this was a long time ago. And I was just fascinated with his storytelling and his experience. And he kind of took me in as sort of his little muse. And I did every play that he directed for the Nutley Little Theater, which is literally a little theater. It still exists, and it's fantastic. And then I had a 9-to-5, and I didn't go to college right away. But 10 years after high school, I was like, I'm doing all this acting stuff. Let me go get a degree. And not that it's not worth anything, but that experience led to other things too. So I was kind of always doing something theatrical since I was a kid. And I fell into a lot of commercial work when I was non-union. Made a living doing that for a short period of time. And then eventually I had some bad experiences and bad advice about joining the union, and I held off because of that bad advice. And my was wanting to be a union member in SAG-AFTRA. And so then I took the plunge and I joined, and I've worked not steadily, but I'm not making a living just acting, but I'm around the greatest people a few times a year. I'm doing indie films, or I've done a bunch of Lifetime and Hallmark movies and Netflix dubbing and things like that. So I'm kind of doing a bunch of different things, and I'm loving it. That's my story.
Because I feel like we kind of like we're doing the same thing around the same time.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that back when we were doing, just so everyone understands, back when we were doing non-union commercials, we were actually working more and we were making a killing because we were just doing the buyout stuff, right?
Yeah.
There wasn't. It was kind of like easy. It was very easy to get, right? Because we really weren't competing with any SAG people.
No.
It was all non-union people.
And I was able. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. And what happened was, because I remember being at SAG when we were talking about the contracts, when the rise of like the Instagram and Facebook and all this stuff started coming up, a lot of the clients were going non-union, and they were also looking at internet influencers. That was like the birth of the internet influencers. So it kind of fell off a little bit. So it's kind of like we joined SAG and we just got in line with everybody else.
Yeah, yeah. It is a different world for sure. I'm very much for the union. I
Yeah,
totally understand people's individual choices to go FICOR. I'm on a couple of different SAG-AFTRA committees, and
I know.
maybe one of the, oh, thank you. I'm also a good advocate about, if you need to go FICOR, these are the reasons why you should, and if it's that way for you, totally get it.
Now, I'll have to ask you to explain exactly what FICOR means.
So I won't give you a whole history
Right.
lesson, but so FICOR initially was created by a car union back in like 1950 something. It's basically union workers can then be dues paying non-members so that they can take work that is not held by a union status. And in some cases, that was livelihood for some people. That meant putting food on their table.
Yes.
In this case, these days with the SAG-AFTRA, it kind of is the same way for some people, I suppose. I choose to supplement my income so that I don't have to go FICOR, and the union is just very important to me. And I feel when I've had conversations with a lot of FICOR actors, they weigh the pros and cons, and then they'll have a bad experience on a non-union set. And I explain, this is the protections. This is the money you could have made. You could even try to flip it to be a union project, and you'd get residuals, and you wouldn't weaken the collective bargaining for contracts as a whole. So a lot of people I've spoken with about this type of thing have ended up coming back to the union, and
absolutely,
it is a personal choice, and I can't fault anyone for needing to do that. It exists for a reason. However, I am very much pro-union, and I would love to talk to anybody personally if they wanted to chat further about decisions.
I'm pro-union.
Yeah.
I'm pro-union because I'm all for the protection. Because I do not like giving my power away to anybody. I do not like being treated. And you don't really understand it. A lot of people, Kerry, what I realize is that a lot of people don't really understand that what we do is a business. This is not, just some hobby. This is a business.
Yeah.
And you have to be well educated about the business that you're in so that you will be treated fairly.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's really important. Education is important. Self-education is important. It's show business. You have to educate yourself about it. You have to. And it wasn't until I looked at the business side of things that's when I started actually working more, even when I was not union. You have to treat it like you're the CEO of your own company. You have to. Like, you're it. That's it.
That's it. You're your brand. You're your everything.
Yeah, it's not even about your reps, or it's about your relationships for sure. If your reps, I will be honest, I've dropped reps in the past for not being on the same page as me and for not feeling protected and heard and supported. And it stings, but when you rip that Band-Aid off, it's such a relief. And that's even self-education about learning your worth and knowing who you are and what you want to be seen as and what they see you as.
Yes.
Every pot has their lid, as my grandma used to say. So, if this rep's not for you, there's another one out there. There's so many out there who are looking for good talent, and you'll find your fit if you don't have it at the moment. Not you, just everybody.
But I got So I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about, first, I want to get to the Hallmark movies because I want to know more about that. But I also want to talk about the 2008 horror film BANSHEE. Because I saw a few clips. At first, okay, I have a movie that kind of messed me up as a kid.
Oh no!
I don't like to watch it. And when I saw a few of your clips, I was just like, and I was like, whoa, no, it's okay. Wait, that's Kerry. Okay, I'm safe. It's safe. But what was that like? Because I mean, it's always been a dream of mine to kind of do something that's kind of more on a horror scale. So what was that experience like for you?
Oh, so honestly, to this day, it's still one of my favorite times ever on set.
Mhm.
All of my scenes were night. They scheduled everything for me at night. For the exteriors had to be because it was nighttime. And just the way we were able to shoot in certain locations that were like a bar, we didn't have the access to it till nighttime. So the exteriors at night were just fabulous, like setting up the lights and the gear and everything to make it look like that's not what it is, that it's nighttime but not lit as a set. And there was one scene where they drove a car off of a cliff. They really did that. They had like 5 cameras set up to get each angle because they had a car, and they did it once because that's all they had. And just to see the technical aspect of how they did it was fantastic.
Wow.
But the gore and the story and the fun of all that was, while you're in it, like you're in character and you're believing what you're saying, and you have this thing that you're supposed to be imagining, because it was part of it was CGI'd in,
Right.
and you're reacting to this, but it's there's this rush still. I did battle a baby banshee for a brief amount of time, and I felt kind of stupid, but I was like, I'm just gonna go for what this scene requires, and it came out really great and it convincing, I'll say. And those guys are great. If you can ever watch any synthetic cinema films, these producers, they're fantastic. They have grown so much since then. They've had their journey, and they've made films on zero budgets. They've made films that Hallmark and Lifetime have been paying them to write and produce, and these guys are the real deal. They're phenomenal people to work with. But Banshee, yeah, it was, I got stabbed in the leg. I passed out. I became the Banshee at one point. It was a wild ride, and I would love to do a sequel to that. In fact, I'm one of the only people that you don't see get killed. You see me at some point, but I could be the one that comes back. You never know. So I've
And you were
mentioned
in
that to them.
when you were like it was like you were in a pool of blood at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I was stabbed, and then I kind of fought one of the guys. Yeah, their effects
It's
are
something
great.
about redheads in horror films that freak me out. Blame it on the 70s. Blame it on the 70s. That's all I gotta say.
I wish they'd
Blame
give
it
me
on
more work on those horror films.
And
I get
then
like the nice girl next door.
and you know what? And that's what makes you so perfect for Hallmark. So
Yeah.
so to transition from that and do Hallmark films, what is the beauty and the magic in that? Because those films are always kind of like, the perfect ending kind of situation.
Yeah. I don't want to say formulaic, but there is, people watch it for that feel good feeling. Like as if you're in a card store and you're in the Hallmark aisle and you want to pick up that card and you want to just be like, oh yeah. At the end of reading it, it's the same with those movies. And the one Royal Holiday, I had a very small role, but it was fun. It was I even had a writer in the Midwest review it, and we talked about my role for a brief amount of time, and it is just a feel good type of movie. The audition I did for it, they asked for 2 different takes. So I did the exact opposite of the take of what we actually shot, which was a stuck-up, snobby, like local gossipy woman, which is, they said 2 completely different takes. So I don't know if I got hired because I was able to do 2 such different things. But the one that we shot was the fun, giddy, supportive, yeah, townsy type of local girl. Yeah.
the girl that everyone wants to really like.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
want
I'm there
like
to
it.
listen to your stories. I'm there to cheer you on. I'm there to make everyone feel good. And yeah.
What is what is your idea of like the ideal role and project that you would like to do?
Ooh, I'm kind of writing that right now, and it's a little terrifying for me because it's not that girl. Although that girl's in there with certain relationships she has with other people.
Right.
She's basically a single mom, sort of estranged from her dad. Her dad's really ill. She may be taking over his company, but it's an illegal type of company that he's gotten away with in the 70s, the late 70s, early 80s. So it would be a period piece, so to speak. And she becomes this like badass Melissa Leo kind of mixed in with who else? Anyway, she's just this badass woman with some secrets and a son, and there's secrets involving him, and yeah, she just comes in to take over and make everything go straight. And she's got relationships with the police, and at the time there's some facts about, like, I'm staying true to things that happened at the time, because there's a reason why she wants this business to go straight. It involves the AIDS epidemic coming to be. It's something really dear to me. I don't know why that is, but it's terrifying to write something that you think people don't see you as, but it's like so scrumptious and fun to see that dialogue out there. And how are people going to react seeing this come from me? And it'll be an ensemble. Like, I want to have really great women.
Film or series?
It's going to be a series. Okay. If I have my say, it'll be a series. And yeah, it's exciting, but that's what I'm thinking of for me. But in the meantime, if anyone wants to hire me for a Hallmark film again, I'm all for being that person.
I know. You won't say no. It worked for, I think, I remember the made-for-TV movies were really big back in the day, and Melissa Gilbert, she did 2 a year.
Yeah.
And would be like, okay, I'm done. I've made my living for this year.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be great. And she's wonderful too. She's all those childhood people that we grew up on.
Yeah, exactly. But to me, like I said before, those were my kind of reality checkers to what I have come to understand what the business is really about and what it really is,
Yeah.
And you just gotta love it, It's like what people see the final product of all the blood, sweat, and tears that we put into it, and they get a chance to enjoy that. But there's a lot of work that goes in behind that, leading up to that moment.
Absolutely.
Where we can look back and say, wow, I'm proud of the work that I did.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. I'm gonna start by asking you 1 of 5 questions that I always ask when I come on here. So, and you can feel free to answer them however you like.
Okay.
And take your time.
All right.
So first question is, tell me what you now know about the business opposed to what you thought you knew it would be about coming in. So what do you know now? Is whatever you thought the business was coming in, what do you now know it to be?
I guess the first thing that popped into my head is, aside from it's where the relationships are at, it's not about having to meet everybody. It's figuring out who your everybody's are. And we all come in all gung-ho and like, yeah, I can do anything. I can do this and that and this and that. Guess what? Not really. I mean, people are better at certain things than they are others.
That's true.
And if you can hone in on where your sweet spot is, and just embrace that and let that explode for the world to see, that's why there are so many character actors. They figured out what they do and what they do well, and that's when they're going to get cast and cast and cast and cast. And I'm still trying to figure that out, I guess, for myself. But yeah, I would say that and relax.
Yeah.
Like when you come into a room and you're like, I want them to want me. They see that. They feel that.
Yeah.
It oozes off of you, and it's like this yucky feeling. Just know, hey, I'm here to fix this problem that they have and fill this puzzle piece that they don't have. And let me just give them my solution. And if you're not that solution, you'll be a solution to something else. Just relax.
What advice would you give your 19-year-old self?
Ooh. Okay. I would say you should have more early balls, is what I call it. And what I mean by early balls is that instinct of wanting to do something, but your self-confidence and your self there's a word I'm looking for. Insecurity for sure. Self-monitoring, like this gremlin inside, like doing the negative part of that. Don't listen to it. If you have an instinct that is that strong, go for it. As an adult, I've been that way, being nervous and like self-deprecating about things, and then I realized, nope, just care, early balls. And the handful of times that I've acted on that have turned into new relationships, some jobs, information that I didn't have that's useful for the future. And it's not only about having the early balls, but being helpful instead of just wanting something from them. If you thank someone for having such an amazing script that they've done, because it really did touch you, that goes so far, because I don't think people hear their work appreciated enough, especially in the digital age and self-tapes. People are doing 3-4 self-tapes a day. If you really connect with material and with a writer, there's just a world of things to discover through that. And that small moment of being thankful, it just blooms for everybody. That's just one example. But yeah, early balls. Don't talk yourself out of it. I mean, don't go get arrested either by doing an early balls moment, but believe in yourself. That's what the early balls is, like confidence.
And you know also that you sometimes you also battle. And I remember back in early on as a teenager myself, you battle imposter syndrome. You don't believe you belong there yet because you have a false idea of what it is.
Oh my God. Yeah. So when I first joined the Renegade Theather Company, like, I don't know, 8-9 years ago, for the first 6 months, I thought I was going to get fired. Every single day, I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. These people, like, they're going to figure me out that I'm a fraud and I'm not even good. Like, what am I even doing? Like, insane. Crazy, crazy, crazy thoughts. Imposter syndrome, smack that across the face, upside the head, and send it on its way.
What would you like your legacy to be?
Oh, that's a good one. What would I like my legacy to be? That I made people laugh and feel good about themselves with my work. Although it's funny because what I'm working on writing, this pilot, is none of those things. I mean, there's dark humor in there, but I guess overall, just making people have a great experience, a meaningful experience, and that I made them laugh also. Laughter's amazing. Laughter is the key.
What brings you joy?
What brings me joy? I guess finding a situation to be not what it is in like a weird way. I guess this stems back from my dad and my aunt growing up, their sense of humor, just finding like something that's abnormal about a normal situation and observing that, laughing about that, finding something fun or funny. And going on walks, nature brings me joy. Seeing dogs walking, like I love pets and animals and nature, and it's peaceful. So I appreciate every dog I go by. I like just have this little moment, like, oh, he's cute, or like it's just like a joy moment for me. As
What's
cheesy
great.
as that sounds like a Lifetime movie.
It is, right, exactly. So what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for being able to do what I do, and God, I'm grateful for being in a community of people who have the same notions, the same wants, the same needs, and knowing there's so many people who I've connected with over these years, you included, because I wouldn't even be doing this, and we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't know each other. And
Right.
I'm grateful for you and for this moment. And hopefully people are watching and getting something out of it. And if not, that's okay too. But yeah, I'm grateful for connection, for relationships that are real, and being able to do what I'm doing in a city that kind of chews you up and spits you out.
Yeah.
And just keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Kerry, the reason why I started Phil John's V.I.P during COVID. And the reason why I started was because I felt myself falling into a dark place of being very competitive, and also then being resentful. So, and it was because I was having people around me that I felt like, because in this business it's very easy to fall into competition with people who you're really not in competition with.
Yeah.
But they're in competition with you, but you don't know it until you get close to them. And I'm like, well, that's not my nature. My nature is never to compete. The reason why I love what I do is because of the feeling of community that we have.
Yeah.
When I started Phil John's VIP is because I've seen so many of my colleagues and friends go on to do great, incredible things, whether it's television, theater, film, produce, write, direct even. And I just wanted to use, if I had a platform, if I had social media, if I wanted to use social media for anything, it was to be able to publicly say, thank you. Thank you for being a part of my community. Thank you for being a part of my circle. You excelling and being great I feel like is a reflection of me, and it inspires me. And I want to be able to have the freedom to cheer you on.
Oh, and right back at you. Like, this is communion.
Yeah.
So to speak. This is Stevie Van Zandt talks a lot about sanctuary in this crazy world, and this I thank you for being my sanctuary today and always. But like, you're my heart. I've known you for so long, and I am with you forever.
Yeah, of course.
You are
of course. It's
crazy
like...
talented too. So if you're out there and you need to give him a job, please do it. He's amazing. God.
Thank you so much, and please keep me posted on the next Hallmark movie.
I will absolutely do
that we can check you out on, because I mean that's kind of like between Hallmark and I think there's another one, and there's like, well, no, yeah, there is. It's like Hallmark movies, Hallmark. There's like 10 different Hallmark channels. So
there's like a Hallmark channel for every month of the year.
Yeah, exactly. So what's next for Kerry McGann?
So I did a short film that was a segment of a play that I was involved in workshopping the end of last year. And the film won, it's just me in it in this portion of the play. And I won Best Actress in a New Jersey Shorts Award festival. And that film is also going to be in the Fort Myers Film Festival, May 18th, 19th, 20th, or 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th.
Okay.
But the play that it's based off of, it's got an off-Broadway run, most likely happening in September and October. So I'm excited to be involved with that, and I'm really looking forward to that because it's such an amazing play. It's wonderful women's roles. It's ensemble of a father, a mom, a divorcee, a 21-year-old, talking about sugar dating and the world that is today. And it's just a wonderful play. And Keitha Gentis wrote it, and she did the short film, and she's got so much other work that you all should check out. Keitha Gentis is fantastic. Check her work out, everybody.
And you said it's going to be at the Fort Myers.
Fort Myers Film Festival in Florida.
In Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What anything happening in Jersey? Are you still in Jersey?
No, I'm in the city.
In the city.
I'm on the Upper West.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My family's still in Jersey.
All right. I moved to Jersey. So I'm in Jersey.
I'm a Jersey girl at heart. Let me
this
tell
side
you.
of the Hudson.
Jersey's.
Yeah.
I love Jersey.
It's a different experience, you know, and it's good to, you know, just have the intensity come down a little bit.
Yeah, to get out. Yeah. It's necessary.
Yeah, it is truly necessary. And because, you know, we have all of it. I mean, it's kind of like I feel like it's expanding out of the city. It's kind of growing legs because you got now all the studios coming in on this side, Jersey, up above like Yonkers, and you know, it's a lot of things coming.
Jersey City, Bayonne also. Yeah. It's going to be something. Jersey will not be lacking in needing work for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But we're going to take all those roles up, though.
We will. We have to.
Kerry, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate your professionalism. I appreciate your talent. I can't thank you enough, really.
Thank you. Let's catch up soon.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Coffee,
the weather's breaking.
In Jersey or here. Either side of the Hudson.
Either side. Absolutely. I'm with that.
All right.
Have a blessed one, everyone. Thank you again for joining me tonight. Thank you, Kerry.
Thanks.
Have a good weekend, everybody.